Hi, I'm Hannah Hatherall and I'm a hypnobirthing practitioner and a hypnotherapist. I'm also a mum, and I've invited Lisa today to chat to you about her hypnobirthing experiences because she's had two babies. This is Zara, and Zara is 12 weeks old, and she's had some incredible hypnobirthing experiences that I really thought it would be really good to share. So Lisa, do you want to talk about why you wanted to do hypnobirthing in the first place?
Sure. Well, initially I hadn't heard of hypnobirthing, and when I was pregnant with my first child, a friend had recently given birth, and she said to me that she had an amazing positive experience, and I was like, that's really different to anything that I've heard in the TV or in movies, and I just thought, I've got to find out a little bit more about what this is all about.
Yeah.
She also gave me a book which was more to do with women transferring from the workplace into motherhood, and it really resonated with me, the sort of challenges that you can face. And within that book, one of the tips that it shared was about hypnobirthing as well.
Okay.
And I thought, I really need to find out what this is about, because it sounds like it's something that I really wanted, was a positive birth experience. I didn't think it had to be quite as dramatic as what you saw in the movies. So
yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I did a bit of research and came across your website and
Brilliant.
ended up doing a course. So yeah,
oh, that's good. And what bits of the hypnobirthing course did you use for the birth?
Well, for me, a lot of it was about the preparation. So it was every night doing the rainbow relaxation and the birthing affirmations.
Yeah.
It was setting a calm environment, so playing relaxing music that I'd been listening to every night, so my body was conditioned to relaxing when I heard it. Dimming the lights, and when it came to the relaxation, we ended up pretty much both times using a little bit of the light touch massage. But we didn't go through many of the actual relaxation techniques because things seemed to progress so quickly both times.
That's fantastic.
That it was more about me kind of getting into a state of calm relaxation, and for me the music really did that. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
And how often did you listen to your rainbow relaxation when you were pregnant?
It was pretty much every night from 34 weeks, around about that stage.
Brilliant.
Because I found it helped me get to sleep.
Yeah.
Like there were a lot of things going on with work at the time, and I found that if I could sit there and focus on myself, focus on my unborn baby at that time, it was really nice. It took that whole work mental load off me and allowed me to focus on the next stage that I was moving into. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
And was it quite different? I mean, was when you decided to come on the hypnobirthing course, was it quite different to what you'd expected?
It was actually. Initially, when I heard the word hypnobirthing, I kind of thought it probably a bit hippie-ish or a bit airy-fairy, and I wanted something a little bit more practical, down to earth, that I could really relate to. And it surprised me actually, because I found hypnobirthing was very practical in a lot of what it was suggesting. And particularly, particularly for me, I think there's a lot of power in the mind and positive thinking. And I quite like my sport. And there was one thing that you'd said during the course was about, your body, you wouldn't prepare for a marathon. You wouldn't run a marathon without doing any training. Yeah. And I really related to that, because I think that's to me what hypnobirthing was all about. It's the preparation beforehand, so that you're conditioning your mind to respond in a positive way.
Brilliant.
Your body responds to those positive neural pathways that you've created. And so by repeating positive affirmations, by thinking about how you want your birth experience to go, I think your body's more likely to respond to that.
Yeah, definitely. So, and it did seem to go really well for you, didn't it?
Yeah, both times were fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah. So the first time round you gave birth in the hospital environment?
Yes, I did. So for my oldest, she was born it was a water birth at the birth centre. Oh, sweetie. Okay. Yeah, is that better? You can see. For my eldest, she was born in the birth centre in the pool. And that was a really calm, relaxing environment. It was, in some ways, it was almost textbook, is the way I'd sort of imagined how a hypnobirth would go. I didn't need any pain relief. It was just dim lights. We had some music playing in the background, which is the same music I'd used as my relaxation. I guess it progressed relatively quickly for a first-time birth. But didn't need any medication, didn't need any assistance from the medical staff.
Fantastic.
It was just me kind of going inside myself and just trying to concentrate on breathing and letting my body do what it needed to do. The water was really lovely, obviously. It
really relaxing.
It does, and my husband was there sort of giving me the light touch massage. It was quite quick. I think 2 to 3 hours.
Just very fast for
the second stage. So my waters broke around midnight. We went to the hospital to get checked. I initially said no to any examinations because I just wanted to see how things were going. I didn't really want to set any expectations. I felt a couple of strong surges, and at that point I said to my husband, I don't think I can do this. And mentally I knew that if I was feeling like that, I was close to the end anyway, because you get to that point. And then I felt the urge to push, and I said to the midwife, I think I need to push. She said, no, you don't. I said, well, I can't stop it. And she checked me at that point and she said, oh, you're 10 centimetres dilated, which was fantastic. And I, as you do when you're a pregnant lady, I was quite adamant about the fact I wanted a water birth. And I said, can you fill the pool, please? They weren't sure they were going to have time. And I said, well, I definitely want a water birth, so I was going to wait. And I think at that point, I must have mentally sort of slowed the process down, because I was quite clear that I did want that water birth, and so I was willing to wait for the birth pool to fill up. And then once we were in the pool, it was just a case of letting each of the surges come and breathing through it. It probably was a little bit longer in the pool, like things did slow down a little bit. But I was also, probably one of my biggest concerns was I didn't want to tear. And I knew that if I just took it slowly, then my body would be able to respond to what it needed. And so
brilliant.
Probably a couple of hours later,
out she came.
Yeah.
And what about with Zara's birth? Because you made a different decision then, didn't you? Because it had been such a gentle, calm experience. You thought, maybe I'll go for a home birth next time.
Yes, we definitely did. So we were conscious that she was probably going to come quicker, because second time round they do. We probably weren't as prepared for how quick she came. So I was initially considering a home birth, and I'm really pleased I did. I think things sort of started about 5:30 in the morning. And I had the show at that point, but I didn't think too much of it, because with my first I had the show about a week before. And I'd had a few Braxton Hickses as well, so I was like, but that wasn't anything too concerning. I just knew my body was warming up. And then, so my husband and I carried on with our day, went for a coffee, had some lunch. Just after lunch I thought, I'll go upstairs and have a lie down, rest. Tried to lie down, and of course I couldn't, because I started feeling these surges. Came down to my husband and he said, well, why don't you start timing them? So I did, and at that point they were probably 5 to 10 minutes apart. Within half an hour of that, they had progressed to roughly 3 to 5 minutes apart. And I thought, right, now's the time to call the hospital. So I phoned them, and they notified the midwives who were going to come out to our house. So the midwives were on their way. They ended up not making it in time. So from the time when I phoned the midwife, it was roughly 40 minutes later when she arrived.
That's amazing.
So it was very quick. We had started to fill up the birth pool, My husband, bless him, forgot to put the liner in.
Oh.
And so he was trying to empty the pool and then refill the pool.
And of course it takes a while to fill up.
It does.
Yeah.
It can take sometimes half an hour to fill up the
Yeah.
birth pool. So he was running backwards and forwards from the kitchen to the lounge trying to fill the pool. Meanwhile, things were getting stronger, and I thought, oh, I'm not sure the pool's going to be ready. So I took myself to the bathroom, and I felt my waters break at that point, and I was like, right, okay, we're definitely moving. And I happened to jump into the bath. The bath was empty at the time, but I didn't want any of the mess anywhere else in the house. So I hopped into the bath. I said to my husband, have you filled the birth pool? He's, no, still going. So I said, can you pass me my phone? And I phoned the hospital because it was just my husband and I at home at the time. And I thought, I do want someone, like a midwife available. They're on their way, but they haven't made it yet. So let me phone and see how far away they are. Initially, I couldn't get through and I panicked a little bit. But I tried again and I did get a midwife on the phone. And bless her, the first thing I said to her was, I think my baby's crowning. Because at that point, the surges were very strong.
Yes.
I could feel the urge to push. And so first thing I blurted out, my baby's crowning. And she was like, well, can you tell me your name? At the time I couldn't. I was having a strong surge. And I said to her, I took a few deep breaths, surge passed, and I said to her, sorry, just need a moment. Told her my name and all my details, and she coached me over the phone.
Fantastic, that's brilliant.
For, I think it was all of about 4 minutes between when she answered the phone to when this one arrived.
Amazing.
So she, once the head had come out, my husband confirmed it was the head. She said, one more push and she'll be out. And it was literally one more push.
Fantastic.
She was out. My husband caught her over the bath. And yeah, it was...
You must have felt incredible having done that by yourselves.
It was very empowering. It was, I think at the time you just kind of go into automatic mode. Yeah. We knew what to expect from our first, and because there was no one else around except us, we knew we just had to do what we needed to do. We did go into a little bit of shock afterwards when the midwife did arrive. She was only 5 minutes after the birth. The midwives arrived, along with the paramedics. Who we didn't need in the end because everything was very smooth and there were no complications. But once I knew that the medical team were there, I kind of could relax a little bit more. And my body went into a little bit of shock just because we weren't expecting things to happen so quickly. It was all so quick. Yeah, but that's a natural response to that sort of situation. But yes, at the time, it was just a case of me trying to stay calm because I knew that the calmer I could be, the quicker and easier the surges would be, and she could come out. So,
that's fantastic. So you had 2 amazing births. What was the single most thing that you really took away from the hypnobirthing experiences that you had?
It's a good question. I've probably got 2. The first one was for my husband, and I think having gone through the hypnobirthing course, he felt much more confident. He felt like he actually had a very significant role to play in creating the right environment, in making decisions for us and what we wanted as a birth experience. Because prior to that, he was nervous. And he can be a little bit queasy. So he wasn't necessarily looking forward to it, but he did the course and he came away feeling like, yes, we can do this.
That's brilliant.
So he felt empowered. The second thing was for me, the key thing was just trying to remain calm and relaxed, to breathe, to let my body do what it's naturally born to do. I think women have an amazing ability. At times, it makes you feel like a superhero. That you've got superpowers. You can create a human life, I think, is just an absolute miracle. And to give birth to that is such an empowering experience. Those feelings, I think, will stick with me for the rest of my life.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing your stories. That's brilliant. And do you think you could do it again?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Brilliant.
In some ways I quite look forward to the birth. It's so powerful. Yes.
Brilliant.
Definitely.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. And hopefully Lisa's stories will make you feel more confident about your births, and maybe you'd be keen to have a go at hypnobirthing too.